So here are 7 ways to get better customer service from a company. If you're a customer or client of a company that you bought a product or service from and are having difficulty getting the right answer to your problem, or even anybody to answer it, here's some things you can do that will get you more direct and higher quality customer service. First, start with the customer service channel that's offered to you. Whether it's chat, whether it's email, whether it's some online version. Start with that. But immediately, don't even wait for a response. Look for a secondary channel to put your response through. Twitter is a good one to start with. Right? Every company has a Twitter account. Post a message on Twitter. Now, you have to be very careful. Don't start by being threatening or saying a bad review or saying a complaint. There's a time for complaining. We'll talk about that later. Don't start with a complaint, because what's going to happen is you're going to not keep your powder dry, meaning that if you immediately start bashing the company and dropping all kind of bombs, you're not going to have any advantage with the company to fix your problem. You already did the damage, right? Reviews may be a powerful thing for some companies. Some companies don't care about reviews, but if they are somebody who cares about reviews and their public image, if you already drop bombs on them from day one, you're not going to have any leverage. They're just going to, stick to their guns of what their opinion was. So start with customer service. Immediately post a response on Twitter, something like, "Hey, I put a message through your customer service. Please respond as soon as possible." Very generic. Maybe you put it on their Facebook, right? And see what happens. See what kind of response you get. If you get an answer back from anybody at customer service, this is suggestion number 2, that is not exactly what you want, don't argue about it. Don't complain about it. Immediately ask that person, who is somebody else I could talk to about this? Immediately. More than likely, the person you are communicating with is a customer service rep or an agent, somebody lower on the totem pole. If you immediately ask for somebody else, that person probably has the authority to escalate you to a manager or a supervisor. But don't ask for a manager or supervisor. Ask for somebody else to talk to. Here's why. If you ask for a manager, many times the manager or supervisor, when they see that, they want to avoid it because they know you're a problem and they don't want to deal with it. But if you ask the person, "Hey, is there anybody else I can talk to about this?" You're not asking for something negative. You're just asking for an alternative. That agent will more than likely, more quickly pass along your request to the supervisor or escalate it for you. That's number 2. Number 3, when you do talk to that other person, before you plead your case and say, "I want this and I demand that and this is no good," ask them very clearly, "I see that you stated this is your opinion, this is your policy, this is what you're going to do for me." Just ask them, how did you come to that conclusion? Ask them how they made the decision they made. Don't argue why they were wrong. Don't argue why they should do something different. Don't, at this point, that'll come later. Don't argue your case and tell them why they should do what you want to do. First, ask them how they made the decision that they made. Because now that's going to illuminate you onto what it is that went into their decision. That will help you talk about it. That will help you overcome it. If you know where they're coming from, if you know what their origin of thought is, now you can deal with that. If you don't know why they even made the decision, you're just going to be beaten against the wall, right? So step 3 is to ask them, "Well, I saw that you said I can't have a refund for this. How did you come to that conclusion? Why is that?" Very nonchalant, not threatening. Don't start throwing bombs. There's a time for throwing bombs. You want to save the bombs as your last resort. Just like in World War III, the last thing any country wants to do is start throwing atomic bombs. You want to save your bombs for last. Because once you do that, all bets are off. Now you're just at the whim of the market. So once you get back the answer, "Well, we decided not to do a refund because," whatever that answer is, now just focus on that one thing. Focus on that one thing. And if they say you can't get a refund because you used a product or it's damaged or it's non-refundable because it was custom order, whatever it is. Simple question you're just going to ask back. Are there any exceptions to that? Do you ever make exceptions to that? Simple question. Again, you're asking questions. You're not putting demands. As soon as you start putting demands, you're like a fighter starting to throw punches. When somebody throws a punch, the other person defends themselves. They put up their dukes. You're not throwing punches. You're asking questions. You want their input. Do you ever make exceptions to that? Could you ever make an exception? Now, think about it. If you have a company that doesn't give you what you wanted, they didn't give you a refund, whatever it was, and you ask them, do you ever make an exception? What are they going to say? Of course they've made exceptions. In 10 years and thousands of customers, they've made exceptions. It'd be very hard for them to say, no, we don't make an exception. They might say, yeah, we make exceptions. Okay, you can have what you want. That might end it right there. See what answer you get back. And to be patient about this. This may take a day or two on each volley because companies don't have huge customer service departments of people just waiting around answering anymore. It's more thinly operated. In fact, we just saw an article we'll talk about later where one airline stopped having any phone service at all anymore. Nothing on the phone. So anyways, do you make exceptions? If you get what you want, you're done. If you don't, no, we don't make exceptions because of this. Okay, that's fine. Now you can start escalating. You can start turning up the heat a little bit. Step 5 is to say, I understand that you're saying you don't make exceptions. I take this very seriously. I'm going to have to take further actions about this. And don't take the actions with that person, but ask them, do you want to leave it as is before I take these other actions? Is there anything else you want me to know or that you want to do before I take other actions? And you don't want to say what those other actions are. Let their imagination run wild. Because here's the thing. There may be 5 actions you could take. You could leave a review. You could file a lawsuit. You could file a chargeback. You could do many, many things. You don't know which of those things the company's going to care about. Some companies don't even care about reviews. People don't even read reviews that much anymore. Some companies don't even care if you complain about them on Facebook. So you don't know what it is the company cares about and what they don't care about. So if you say, I'm going to do this, you don't know if your guess is going to be the thing that the company cares about. So just say, I'm going to take further action. I'm taking this seriously. I want to know if there's anything else that you want to do before I start taking other action. And leave the other action vague. Let their imagination run wild. What they're going to do is they're going to think about the things that do affect them. They know what things that consumers do that bother them, that cause damage, that have an effect. They know what they are because they deal with them every day. Some people get lucky and pick that thing arbitrarily. You don't know what that thing's going to be. If you just say, I'm going to write bad reviews, they're going to laugh. They don't really care. They may have bad reviews posted on their break room because they look at it as like a joke. Right? Reviews aren't what they used to be. So you don't want to say what you're going to do. You just want to say you're going to do something. You take this seriously. We're going to do something. Is there anything else that you want to say before I go do that? It doesn't matter what the answer is. If they say yes, take that under consideration. If they say no, then you're going to take your other action. That's step 6. Here's what step 6 is. You're going to pick 5 different points of attack towards that company. And you're going to test all 5. You're not going to drop a bomb. You're just going to do reconnaissance on all 5. And those 5 are social media, if you didn't already do Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn for company executives. LinkedIn for company executives. Credit card dispute. You're also going to do a corporate headquarters mail contact, postal mail contact. And what you're going to do is you're going to send a test message to all of them. For social media, you're going to put a message saying, hey, I am a customer of XYZ company. Is this the same company? I want to make sure before I take action. On LinkedIn, you're going to say, I'm a customer of XYZ company. I bought a product. Is this the same XYZ company that you're the CEO of? Is this the same XYZ company that you're the marketing manager of? You're just going to ask a question. You already know it's the same company. You're not stupid. You already know it's the same company. But you are putting a shot across the bow. You're letting them know something's coming. This is where it's coming. You want to take any action before you do. Right? It may get the attention of somebody else that's not already involved in the chain of command. Same thing on social media. If you contacted them before on Twitter, do other social media, Facebook, even reviews, even Google reviews. Post a message, a question, not a review, a question to the consumer. All of the review sites have a method to ask the merchant a question before you do a review. Hey, I'm contacting, is this the same XYZ Corporation that's on 12 Main Street? Is this the same XYZ Corporation that has the website xyzcorp.com? You're letting them know that you're onto them where they are. And you're going to carpet bomb all those sources. And you're going to send a letter by postal mail. This is going to be the hardest thing for you to do. Nobody likes doing mail anymore. Nobody likes writing a letter, printing it out, putting a stamp on an envelope, getting an envelope, because everything is online bill pay now. Nobody has envelopes at home. Do yourself a favor and do the extra work. Get 3 envelopes and send it to 3 different locations. The main office, a branch office, and their legal office. Look on their website at the bottom. Every website has legal contacts. And send a letter saying, my name is so-and-so, I bought this product, I have a dispute with your company, I haven't received a satisfactory answer. I just want to know if this is the same company and if you have any alternative solutions for this. Now, you've put reconnaissance out there through many different channels. 3 letters, 4 or 5 people on LinkedIn, social media. You put a request through the merchant account. Don't necessarily file a dispute or a chargeback, because once you do that, all bets are off. But file a request for information, and then sit back and wait to see what happens. Maybe you'll rattle somebody's cage. Maybe the CFO who gets your message on LinkedIn, this CFO doesn't know anything about your account. They're going to look it up and say, oh, this person's been very reasonable. They contacted the low-level agent. They asked to talk to somebody else. They talked to them. They asked reasonable questions. And they're going to say, look, this person's being reasonable. They might tell the customer service department just to give you what you want. Give you your refund. Give you your replacement. It's extra work. But if it's worth it, go ahead and do it. If it's not worth it, don't do anything. Here's the reason why. If you just say, I'm just going to post bad reviews and start dropping reviews, at that point the customer has nothing to do to benefit you. You already got the bad review. They already are damaged. So why don't I just wash their hands of it and just walk away? Right? So by doing all those things, you're giving them the opportunity to voluntarily do what you want. Because if they don't do it voluntarily, your chances of getting them to do it by force or coercion is going to be slim. Now, if you do all that and still get nothing, you only have 3 options left. And these 3 are just rolling the dice. You can try them. They may not work. One is to file a lawsuit. File a lawsuit in court. You have to file it in the jurisdiction where they are. That's the problem. And if they're not local to you, you might not be able to follow through. But here's the thing. If you file a lawsuit in the local jurisdiction, let's say you live in Texas and the company is in Indiana, you can file a lawsuit by mail. Small claims lawsuit. You can mail the form to Indiana, to their county, and they'll get a notice of that lawsuit. And there'll be a hearing date, right? That might give them an incentive just to solve it, because they don't want to send attorneys or people to that. Even if it's in their backyard, they don't want to have somebody take a day off from work to go to court for the day. You're not going to go either, more than likely, right? But at least it puts them on notice that you're taking it seriously. The other thing you can do is you can actually file a dispute or chargeback with your credit card. Now be aware, you may not win. If they can show they sent you a product and it did not meet the standards of their terms and conditions, you might lose that. And the problem with chargebacks is if you file too many chargebacks as a consumer and you lose, your account may be flagged by the bank. We've heard banks tell us this, that if you're a prolific disputer and you file too many and you lose, they might not look at your next chargeback as favorably. Maybe. That's just what we hear from banks. You can make your own decision. And then the last thing you can do, obviously, is you can just start dropping bad reviews. But more than likely, that's not going to necessarily get you what you want, because here's the thing. Once you file a review, you can't change it. You can't go from a negative to a positive. And you can't file 2 reviews against the same company. All the review sites only let you do 1. So once you do that, you're just basically burning bridges. Scorched earth policy. But it may be the thing that you want to do just to try to do something desperate to maybe get them to do something out of desperation on their own part. But if you do all those steps first, you have a higher probability of them voluntarily doing what you want. Again, there's an old saying, you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, right? Now, some people are just hard to work with, and some people are just difficult to deal with. That's why you want to go through as many different people in the company you can. All you need is one person to agree with you. If you're dealing with the same person and running into roadblocks, somebody else might do it. If you end up with dealing with 10 different people in the company, the first agent, the second agent, a supervisor, the CFO, the person to handle social media, marketing person, maybe somebody on LinkedIn, somebody at their legal office, somebody in their headquarters to get your mail, now you have 10 different chances for one person. All it takes is one person to see it from your point of view that'll help you out. That's why you want to cast a wide net to find that one hero in the company that can help you. If you reach out to 10 people like that and none of them help you, there's one of 2 things going on. Either the company is unreasonable and they just, are a bad company to deal with, or you're unreasonable. What you're asking for is not fair. At that point, it really doesn't matter because there's not much you can do. You're at a standoff. You can decide not to do business with them again, or you can sue them, one of the 2. But at least now you've exhausted all your avenues, and you can sleep well knowing that you tried everything you can to get what you want. Don't try to do it out of spite or personal hatred. Do it out of logic that you want to have the result that you're looking for. Let us know in the comments what you think, and if you've done any of these, have they worked for you?